Hey everybody, Earthy Wise Woman here. It's been a while since I've made a video or did an entry. So um the reason I decided to do one, I usually have to have a reason. Either I've had a lot of questions asked about something, or I've had a subject matter pressing on me. And this time it has been questions. I've had people come to me with a question, and it's about hexing. Um, Either they are having dilemmas in their life because they believe they have been hexed, or they desire to hex someone to get even with them for something that has been done against them. So, I am not going to come at you with a self righteous attitude of you should never hex anybody and it's wrong. And I'm going to try to do this in a very practical matter when we discuss this. So, why don't we go ahead and get started? Okay. First of all, decide to look in the Webster's dictionary to look up the word hex and what the dictionary's definition of the word hex is. Much to my surprise, the noun definition of the word hex is to practice witchcraft, which case then I am guilty of hexing all the time. But we know hexing to mean to put a curse on someone, or to wish ill will towards someone. Okay? And my mind is a plethora now because I could go any which way with this subject. So I'm going to try to go with practical matters. Recently, a text message from a customer of mine. I have an Etsy store. So a lot of people do contact me through my Etsy store. And they were stating that they had gotten an Instagram from someone who they had been having correspondence with, who was a practitioner. Anyway, in this Instagram, they informed me that this person implied that they had put a hex on them, and if they wanted the hex to be removed, they would have to do certain favors for this person, monetary, of course. And when I read that, and they told, they asked me, what do I do? I can fear, I fear this hex has been put on me, and this is terrible, and this is bad, and oh, this is going to ruin me. And they were looking for love, basically. And they honestly thought that this person was seeking the same things they were. Anyway, the bottom line is this: can a person hex you? And the answer is yes. Simply put, yes. People can help hex other people. In fact, we hex people all the time in our society. Um, Road rage is a form of hexing someone. I mean, when someone cuts you off when you're about to make that lane change, I mean, I've seen people scream out, "Eat shit and die." Well, that's a hex. It is a hex. And it's a hex with a lot of intention at that particular moment because you really do mean it. Okay. But it is a hex. Okay. Or when you say, drop dead, you fucker, that is a hexing. Okay. But most cases, people are thinking that um, it's a practitioner who is going towards their altar with certain herbs or candles, and they're doing whatever they can do to harm and hurt you. Do those hexes exist? Absolutely, positively. Um, I've heard of such hexes, and I know a lot of people are going to ask, so I'll just, answer the question: have I ever hexed anybody? Um, yes. Have I regretted it? Yes. Okay. Yes. Um, as a younger witch, when I was in my early 20s, I allowed my temper to get the best of me in a few matters. And yeah, I did it. Did I regret it? Yes, because my grandmother told me best. Um, Allow things to play out before you get the passions to act on them. Let them play out first. And of course, then there's the old saying, when you point a finger, there's three fingers pointing back at you. Um, what ended up happening was I had wished that this person would lose their home and their livelihood, and I did not realize that the person who I had put that hex on was at that time dating my daughter. Okay, actually, this was in my I'm sorry, my mid 30s. I did this one. Mm. And my daughter was living with this particular man. End result is, um, my daughter became homeless too. Okay, and boy, did I regret that. All right, greatly regret it. And has there any been? There's been anger and there's been passion, but I've learned my grandmother was right about the idea of hexing. So that being said and done, let me go for it. Now, a lot of people like to believe that when you hex a person or hexing, it's black witchcraft because it's from evil. Um, it's not from evil, it's from anger. And anger can be used for good or bad because it's an emotion. And we need anger. Sometimes anger is the thing that gets us to do things that we may not be able to confront in our lives. And sometimes getting angry enough with ourselves pushes us forward to do these things. But when you do witchcraft in anger, you will get great results. You'll get fast results. But sometimes you'll get results that you may not have meant because anger does subside. And a cool head is much better to practice witchcraft in. Okay? Now, believe it or not, I'm still kind of off the subject of what I want to talk about. So I'm going to continue on. You have a lot of people on the internet, you have a lot of people who have shops, even like my own, and they will be willing to remove a hex from you for the low price of $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. I've seen some pretty absorbent prices to remove a hex. And I'm here to tell you, 99.9% of these people are charlatans. Not all of them are. I'm here to tell you also, not all of them are. But the ones who you just go down and you say, "Excuse me, madam tells them, whatever. I'm having this problem where I can't find love in my life. Ever, ever, ever. Every man who ever comes to me leaves me. What's wrong?" And she does whatever she does. "Oh, you're hexed." "Oh, what do I do?" "Well, I can make up this candle. I can give you this spell. It will cost you $1,500 and we'll remove the hex from you." Okay. No. Right? No. Here's a suggestion. This is from an old witch who's been around the block a little bit and probably put a few houses on the block. If you're having problems in your love life, stop looking for love outside of yourself and start looking within yourself. Look at why are you attracting these type of people. Hexes don't attract bad men. Bad choices attract bad men. Bad choices attract bad women. Okay, there's a pattern. You know, there's a pattern. And before you start looking outside the mundane as to why you're having these problems, look at the mundane in your world. What are you doing? that might be causing these things for you. Um, there are people who always find themselves getting needy people. And I know a lot of men who feel like they want to be the knight on the horse charging to kill off his woman's dragons. And yet he keeps on getting with women who have dragons, okay, who are like always needy. And yet I know women who want to be Florence Nightingale and cure and heal this man and protect him. And yet every man she keeps getting with are always in need of being healed and protected. And we always think of it, well, I've been hexed, that the wrong people are coming towards me. No, you are attracting these people. So instead of trying to get a hex removed, maybe we need to do a spell for self love. Maybe we need to do a spell for truth reveal. Figure out what it is that you're doing that's causing these people to come towards you. Okay? I know a lot of charlatans who will say, oh, this is a generational curse. First of all, I'm here to tell you as a practitioner, generational curses are rare. Do they happen? Usually, but they always seem to happen with someone in a family who has a particular mannerism or action. It's like um, John Sr. was the most ruthless, selfish, thoughtless man in our business, and he died by getting hit by a car because a gypsy came by and cursed him. And yet, that pattern of behavior ran through the family where people were ruthless and they were thoughtless and they were money grubbing. I mean, I know a lot of you, some of you probably, have heard of the curse of the Kennedys. And the story goes that Jack Kennedy, the first Kennedy, he evicted a lot of people at the last minute out of their tenements in New York, and these people had nowhere to go. And they said an old gypsy woman cursed him and his family. And as a result, um, he didn't suffer from the curse, but his children did. They all had untimely deaths. He lost a daughter in a plane crash. Um, his son, two sons were assassinated. Grandson was died in a plane crash, auto accidents. Anyway, they all had freaky, untimely deaths. Now, was that a hex or a curse? I believe it was. But I also know that the Kennedy family has not, a lot of people say, well, they are giving and they're kind and they're this. I don't know about that. I put it like this, they have a lot of money, but within the family, there's also a lot of turmoil because money does not bring happiness. Okay. And how did he make his money? Well, he was a bootlegger. And like I said, he hurt a lot of people. And his family took on the legacy of doing somewhat the same way. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I mean, I don't know what's behind the Kennedys. In other words, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We know what the papers and the tabloids say. So we don't know what goes on. But that is one way you can generate a generational curse. Now, how do you end a generational curse? By changing the behavior of the person who got the curse in the first place. In other words, if let's say this guy's a racketeer, he shoots pool, prostitutes women, does a lot of harm towards people, and he has a son who's born who's a priest, who's helpful, giving, loving, caring, cares about mankind, cares about the state of being of other people. Do you really think that person's going to be cursed? No, because that person is spreading love. And if you know anything, you know that the power of love is the most powerful thing in the world. Now I've had people who have come at me with ill will, and I look at their lives. Somebody says, well, I hope you, I'll put a curse on you. I don't laugh in their face. I don't. I pray for them, actually. I send healing energy towards them. I'm like, I hope they find a way. I hope everything works out for them. However, Earthy Wise Woman ain't a stupid fool either. I will also do a reversal spell. And what that means is any negative energy that is sent to me, I will send it back to where it came from. Now, instead of putting a hex, a reversal spell is so much more effective. Why? First of all, I'm not putting any of my energy into this spell. I'm putting my energy of practicality and just saying, okay, I'm not going to put any passion. This is me being pragmatic. This person has said that they want to curse me and harm me. Well, I don't want to be cursed and I don't want to be harmed. So I just send that energy back to them. Now understand, I may not know who this person's name is, so I'm not going to make it specific. I'm not going to put it towards Susie or Freddie or Joey unless I know for a fact it is them. And even in that, I'm just going to send the energy back that they send towards me. And that's it. Now, I've got to tell you, a few times when I've done this spell, and I've done this spell quite a lot, I have seen things happen that make me go, whoa, that's bad. And that was never my energy that I put into it. Um, One lady was out to curse me. She straight, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to go out. And I knew her to be a very powerful practitioner. Um, I didn't curse her back. I went home. I crafted a candle. And I said, any negative or ill will that is sent towards me, let it go back to where it came. And I blessed it in love and light. I didn't put my energy in that. I lit the candle. I left it on my altar. And I thanked deity for my health, for the health of my family, and I left it alone. Um, 2 weeks later, I found out that she had been evicted from her apartment. She had a car repossessed, and she lost her job. And I'm like, whoa, you can't make this stuff up. Sound like a country western song. And I actually felt bad for her. I felt terrible. No one should have that happen. But understand, I didn't put that energy out there. That was the energy she sent out there to me. So it went back to where it came from. And honestly, that's the type of magic I do now. I just send it back to where it came. Now, I've got to tell you, a lot of people say, well, earthy wise woman, that means you're a white witch, so you believe in white magic and pure magic. No, earthy wise woman is not a white witch, nor am I a black witch. I believe I'm a gray witch because in this world that we live, there's good and bad. And the idea that you can be one or the other is a little irrational and not really true. We are both. Some people ask me, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And I'm like, it depends if I've had my coffee that morning or not. Yeah. So, um, my suggestion is this. For anybody who wants, who feels that they're being hexed right now, I want you just to light a candle. And my suggestion is a black one. And the black candle is not for evil, it's to banish and to reflect. Send the energy back to where it came from. And then bathe your space and yourself in love and light. And love. The greatest conqueror of any hex or curse is to love. And how do you do that? I'm not telling you to turn the other cheek or go and love your enemies. I'm telling you to love those around you and send the positive energy out into the universe. One way of loving your fellow man is to, I don't know, donate your time to feed the homeless. Um, Give donations to Goodwill. Give donations to the ASPCA. Physically go down there. Help people. Help the people on the streets if you can. You know, give a good word. Be kind to other people. Just genuinely be kind. Say good morning to folks. Ask them how they're doing. How's their health? Wish them well. These are forms of love. Don't be so preoccupied. If somebody says, I'm going to put a hex on you, I tell you something. Those people are so mentally low on the totem pole because I'm going to tell you what happens. If a person truly hexes somebody, truly hexes, the energy work that they have to put out, best believe they feel it. In other words, when you hex, there are repercussions to doing a hex. Um, I knew a lady that she made a living out of hexing people. People paid her to hex, and she did it. And she always knew when the hex happened because she herself would get sick. Sadly, she died 5 years ago of cancer. So I can tell you, people who decide to put out hexes don't have a very long life because you can't do evil and expect to live a long life. And here's the worst part, if you do live a long life, best believe it would be one of misery and sadness. Because just because you live a lot of years does not mean they're happy years. We like to believe, oh, they've been blessed with a long life. Not necessarily. Sometimes a long life means you have the time to look at everything you've ever done wrong and regret it because you can't change it. You just have to sit there and look at it and see the collateral damage of your actions. And that is not a blessing. Not by far. Very much not a blessing. So here's the thing. I would strongly suggest don't go to people and say, I want you to hex my friend for me. Okay? If you're going to just feel like you have to put a hex on people, don't go to somebody else. Have the balls to do it yourself. I'm sorry, I'm going to be real. My grandmother once told me this. If you cannot cuss out a man in his face, don't go hexing him behind his back. And what does that mean is this. If I have a person who is meaning me ill will and tell, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to do this. I'm going to kill your dog, blah, blah, blah. Okay, first of all, I'm going to get in their face and I'm going to let them know you better not come up on me. You better not mess with me or mine. You better leave me the fuck alone or I'm going to fuck you up. And I'll tell them that. I will. But I'll tell them to their face first. And then if they do something towards me, I'll let them know. Okay, it's on now. I'll drop down on your ass. Now, why do I say it like that? I know that sounds gritty and I'm sounding pretty uncultured in how I'm swearing and cursing. But here's the reason why I say that. Never hex a man whose ass you won't kick physically. Never hex a person whose ass you will not physically kick. And that's the truth. Okay? Let them know to their faces, I'm willing to drop down on your ass. Okay? And then step back and watch. All right? Because when you decide to do, if somebody has come at you and somebody has harmed you, do I feel like it's okay to hex them then? I feel it's okay to drop down. I don't know about no hex. I sure am going to make their life a little bit hard, though. Yes. Because here's the thing if a person slaps you in the face, you're not going to give them a dozen roses. Okay? But here's the thing about keeping it even, Steven. If a person slaps you in the face, you're not going to drop a nuclear bomb on them either. Keep it even, okay? A slap for a slap. I'm not going to utterly destroy a person. Believe me, karma can do that for me. All right? Karma can do that for me. And I'm here to tell you there have been people in my life who have done harm to me. They may not have even hexed me, but they have harmed me. And I was angry, I was mad, and I wanted bad things to happen. And I just had to pull myself back and say, well, I'm mad. Let me cool down. And what did I do? I did a karma acceleration spell. What did that mean? I accelerated their karma. In other words, I wanted whatever was going to come to them, let it come to them right here and now, quickly. Does that work? hmm It works. It works. But you see, these are alternatives, okay? A reversible candle to send the energy back, a karma acceleration spell to speed up a person's karma so they get what's coming to them faster. And that can be good or bad. That can be good, that can be bad. And that kind of candle, you can buy that candle. It's called a just judge candle. Just judge candle. Or I like to call it a karma accelerator candle. Okay, and it's also good for court. And I don't have one here with me right now because I'm really not trying to push it. I'm trying to talk to you about what it is about hexing and what you shouldn't do and what you should do. But real quick, I am going to show you a picture. I'm going to show you a hex reversal candle. I'm going to pause this video. I'll be right back. Guess what? I'm back. Hope that wasn't too long. This is a Just Judge candle. I want to put it closer. Take a good look at it. Now, a Just Judge candle can be used in court to make sure that the judgment goes your way and that it's a fair judgment. But it also can be used to accelerate a karma. In other words, to make sure somebody gets what they have coming to them. I have a story that I had put up on my Etsy store because I do sell these candles on my Etsy store. Now, this one I personally do not craft. I buy them um, from a brother of mine who crafts them. I'm going to put this to the side. Now, the reason I suggest these is this because usually it's when a person needs a taste of their own medicine or they've done something that is harmful towards you and you don't want to put your energy towards it, but you want them to get what, you know, you wanted to get what they have coming towards you. Lady came to my shop years ago for a reading. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. And what it was, she had two children, two small boys, and she thought she was in a happy marriage. She had helped her husband establish his business. She taught him how to speak English really well and read it. And she thought that she was in a happy marriage. Anyway, inadvertently, he hired a younger woman, kind of, a little fast thing, little, they call it a little freakazoid, whatever they call it these days. Anyway, he cheated on his wife with this woman and basically started having an affair with her and subsequently started putting down his wife, insulting her, making her feel horrible. And he left his wife for the other woman. And the wife was bitter and angry and came to me and I did a reading. And I let her know, okay, you know, this is not going to end well for him. You can see this. This is not going to end well. And I told her why. The his girlfriend ended up getting pregnant, and I told her, this will be okay. You're going to come out okay. And she goes, I don't feel like it. I'm crying all the time. I'm hurting. I gave her a candle. Ooh, I got a fly in here. Scary. I gave her a candle for self love and healing that I crafted for her. And I gave her this, a just judge. And I told her, I want you to light the candle and I want you to think of every terrible thing he had done to you, done to you. And I just want you to say an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Anyway, whatever. There are a lot of things. Usually I tell people to use the third psalm when they use this one. The third psalm is a very good one to use with a just judge. And those of you who already know the third psalm, you'll understand why. Those of you who don't know what the third psalm is, go and read it. You'll understand why you would use the third psalm when using this candle. Okay. Anyway, she did what I suggested. She got the candles, she burned them. She came into my shop few months later and informed me that her husband, everything went to pot. He had begged to get back with her and that he wanted her to, to save their marriage and to make everything, better. And she goes, but what you said was right. And I'm like, oh, great, I was right. I'm not sure if that was good or bad, but what it was she was so angry with him that if she did take her husband back, given that state of mind, she would have killed the man. And I strongly suggested, I said, do not take him back until you can honestly forgive him. And right then and there, she couldn't forgive him. And then, she asked me, will I ever forgive him? I said, I don't know. That's up to you. And I said, but for right now, you can't. And I said, if you decide to take him back, given your current state of mind, it would be miserable for you and it will definitely be miserable for him and your children. So she decided not to take him back, but she found forgiveness for him. And when she filed for divorce, she just asked for child support. He felt so horrendously bad for what he had done because he himself had ruined his home, ruined his marriage, that he gave her alimony out of guilt. Later on, a few months down the line, I was told that his girlfriend indeed had the baby, but it wasn't his baby. She was just using him as a sugar daddy. So he lost his family, he lost his business over, well, a floozy, I guess you could say. Anyway, that's the Just Judge candle. And that's my one story behind it. I'm sure there are others. This one, this is a Hex Be Gone candle. Now, I want you to notice one thing. There's nothing pretty about this candle. It's a black candle. It's not just a black candle. This candle is the loaded candle. And it smells horrible. I'm sorry. I put black licorice in it to try to make it smell good, but it is a candle just to send the hex back to where it came from, to repel it. Now, I sell these, but you can make them yourself, or you can buy a black candle. Okay, I bless them. That's and I put all the energy work into it. Well, I put the energy work as far as crafting the candle. The energy work to send the hex back where it came from, that comes from you. Okay, and remember one thing: before you go to anyone to have a hex removed or to have a curse removed, this is your life and this is yours. You can remove the curses yourself. All right? Know that within yourself you can remove any curse. Absolutely. You don't need to go to anybody and spend $3,000 or $4,000 or wherever they tell you to do to remove this curse. You can do that yourself. And I'm also going to tell you, don't believe everyone who says you're cursed, okay? Because if that's the first thing they say to you, uh-uh, they don't know you. I rarely tell anybody that they're cursed until I can just see what's going on of a pattern that I can see, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? But I'm not, that's the last thing I say. Okay, the first thing I'm going to go through is seeing, I'm going to read my cards, I'm going to or I'm going to look at the lay of the land before I plow that field. Okay? Because that's not the first thing you need to say to someone. It's usually the last thing you need to say. And I'm here to tell you that, okay? So, all of you people, though, who feels like I'm going to put a curse on them, hold back. Because remember this, too. There's a thing in the world called karma, okay? Karma is good. Karma is bad. Karma is no respecter of man, okay? Karma is not bad or good. Karma is karma, okay? You reap what you sow. And if you're willing to take the responsibility of doing such a thing, that's on you. I am not willing to take that responsibility. I will not hex anybody. Because as a practitioner, if I wanted to make millions of dollars, that would be the business to be in. Hex or us. Come up here, get your hex. I'll sell it to you for $49.95. I would never do that for anybody. Okay? If you want a hex, Okay, that's on you. And you're going to take the karma for the responsibility for your magic. And that's part of magic, taking the responsibility for your craft, all right? And not putting it on someone else. Because I've had people who are quick to say, I want you to hex my father in law. Do it your own damn self. And you know, it's funny. Whenever you put the responsibility on someone else to do their own hexing, shockingly enough, they will not take the responsibility. And I think it's because inwardly we know we shouldn't be doing it. So, no, we're not going to take the responsibility for it. Let the other SOB take it, and I'll pay him thousands for it. No. Okay. Hexing is not something to take lightly, but it's not something you should just dabble in, okay? For all you dabblers who think, well, I'm just going to learn witchcraft so I can hex people, don't do it, okay? Because best believe if you think it won't bite you in the ass, you are desperately wrong. It will and can and generally does. So just don't do it, okay? If someone has harmed you, you have the justifiable right to do, fire for fire. I get that. Absolutely. But if somebody has done nothing to you, you have no business going out hexing them, okay? And I don't even want to hear, well, I'm doing it on behalf of. Well, let them do it. Let them take the responsibility for that. That's not your responsibility. That's their responsibility. That's what they so choose. Okay? So remember, this isn't a game. Witchcraft is not a game. All right? This is serious business. Take your craft seriously. Don't be so quick to hex. Slow down. Stop. Take a deep breath. Think about your actions first. And here's the thing. The one thing that I know most people don't do is they don't think about it. When you're quick to hex somebody because of something they've done, what have you done to that person? Okay, because believe me, this stuff plays its way through. What did you do? No one is victimless, okay? There's no such thing as a victimless crime. Usually we do something to have something happen to us. Not always, but in most cases, yes. I mean, I've had mothers come to me who want to hex their son-in-laws, okay? And, when we get down to the reading, one of the things that comes out in many cases is they pressured their daughters to get married because they wanted to be grandmothers. Or this young man looked like a good young man because he had a good living. So they pressured their daughters to marry. Whatever, but they, or they were the meddling mother in laws and they were always over at the person's house, or they always had to put their 2 cents in. Okay, and you're gonna add, and then you're gonna hex on top of already doing, the meddling mother-in-law. Not a good idea. Not a suggestible idea. So in other words, before you hex, remember the concept of the three fingers routine. There's three fingers pointing right back at you. What did you do to cause any of this? And like I said, no one is victimless here. We do things, we say things, our actions. What did we do to cause any of this? You know, did we get with some guy who we knew was a flounder and he ended up going out with Susie May or Betty Ann or whatever her name is? And you like, ooh, I'm gonna get back at that woman. She took my man. Honey, if the man wanted to stay with you, nobody could have taken him away. That was his choice. If you want to yell at somebody, yell at him. Susie May or Mary Ann, whatever her name is, hey, she was just another notch on the man's belt. If he was a flounder, he was a flounder before her. Okay? You cannot take a man from another woman. That man had to be willing to go with the other woman. And then I've heard, well, she put a spell on him and that's why he left. Yeah, when it comes to matters of the heart, it's very difficult to go against somebody's will unless they're willing to do it. Okay? We're not dealing with mindless zombies, okay? Guys, these people have brains. They make choices. They chose to leave you. Okay? Make them responsible for their actions. Confront them. Ask them why they left you. But don't be quick to hex somebody. Get down to the bottom as to why did they leave you? What did you do? And if it was an idiotic, stupid thing that they're telling you, screw them. They're jerks. You don't want to be with them anyway. You deserve better. If somebody can't confront you and tell you that they're leaving you and they're going to go to another woman, screw that. You don't need that drama in your life. You're better than that. Okay? You don't need that. If you have to use spells and incantations and herbs and oils to make somebody stay with you, they're never going to be with you. They're not yours. They'll stay with you if you cast enough spells, but they'll never give you your heart. They'll never give you their heart. And you're better than that. No one needs that drama in their life. So keep that in mind. Now I've rambled and I've rambled. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to drink my coffee. Cheers. And I'm going to send you guys lots of love, lots of life, a lot of light, a lot of love, and some common sense. Okay? Don't play in the land of a hex. Because remember, what comes around goes around. And if we go by the law of three, it can go around 3 times. It isn't worth it. You guys take care, all right? Blessed be.